Hello and welcome back yet again to more Fate Hollow Ataraxia. In the last episode we got killed by some kind of, honestly I have no idea what the hell that was. We found out that Karen could become I guess her body was made of swords, as Shiro would say. Because that's what seems like we got killed by. It's blades that suddenly started to protrude out of her body just impaled us. So, yeah, I guess we need to be real goddamn careful around Karen, because she can just become a weapon at any time, I suppose. Or at least at the end of the loop. So anyways, I guess we're now at the 5th loop. It looks like, you know, we've obviously done everything at the Emiya residence. There's something new happening at the temple, and then there's something new happening at the school. Actually, I want to go check out the temple this time. Oh. Fujimura. Fujimura is at the temple. Well, can't hurt to, I guess, talk to her. Maybe then after this we can go to the school. Okay, well this is different. I thought that he would come out to the hill behind the temple. Looks like we're in the forest. I wander around the hills behind the Ryudo temple. The main temple building is splendid, but in the back is a thick forest. I'm quite fond of it, so I end up coming here just for a walk once in a while. Huh? Oh my! And quite unexpectedly, I bump into Fujine. Shiro, you came here to the mountain? I was just visiting Issei, but Issei would probably stay on the main grounds, so there's no point looking for him here in the forest. Maybe my excuse was a little weird? But doesn't Ryudo-kun become really serious when he's at the mountain? His parents and Kozuki-sensei are here, so there's probably not much to be done about that. There's also Castor and that brother of his, Reiken. Now that I think about it, Ryudo Temple might actually have about as many weird inhabitants as our own house. Fujine, what brings... I start off, but somehow hesitate to ask. The bucket and dippers that she puts down already make it clear. I just went to visit Kiritsugu-san. Oh. Oh, I guess his grave is around here. I see. Kiritsugu was buried here, at the temple's graveyard. Fujimori Sr., together with Issei's father, took upon planning the ceremony with much zeal and ended up choosing this mountain to place his tombstone. But my visits were rare, or rather, never. I'll take care of his grave. You don't really have to worry about it, Shiro. Fujine forgives me with her usual smile. You're still young. But he'd probably be happy if you showed up from time to time. But it is Kiritsugu-san after all. Don't you dare trouble me with stuff that happens after my death, I bet he'd say. Well, he was that kind of guy. By the way, have you told Ilya-chan or Saber-chan about the grave? No, I haven't. I feel like Ilya... Well, actually, Saber might want to know something like that, too. I see. Well, I just think it'd be best if they heard it from you instead. Those two probably have a deeper connection with Kiritsugu than I do. Yeah. But even then, Ilya or Saber visiting his grave in the back of the forest, I don't think that would ever happen. You never know. Oh? Did I make you feel bad? Oh, no, not at all. Well, that's good. I'm going to return these. What about you, Shiro? If I keep going deeper like this, I'll end up at the graveyard that Fujine had just left through a different path. But once I get there, there's still nothing I can say to my dad. In that case, I'll just return to the temple with Fujine. I'll go back too. Here, let me take these. Okay, let's go. Carrying Fujine's bucket, I start walking. Looking back one more time, I gaze at the forest. I can't see Kiritsugu's grave from here. Hey, until next time, old man. Oh, that was pretty short. I thought we were actually going to go visit Kiritsugu's grave. Well, you know, I guess the one... wait, is there nothing to do with the school now? Oh, we can't even go to the school. At least I don't think we can. No. Alright, I guess we're going back to the Emiya residence. But yeah, I think, you know, it's like both Ilya and Saber have not really had the best experiences with Kiritsugu, and I don't know if I would say they have... Well, maybe Ilya has fond memories of Kiritsugu. Saber definitely, I don't think so. But I think they'd still visit his grave nonetheless. I think it's... I mean, I could not blame Shiro for assuming they would not want to visit him, but I think they would still... They still might. They'd still kind of have a bit of a reason to. Okay, so Sakura's in our room for some reason. Senpai, do you have a moment? As I rest in my room, I hear Sakura's voice. Sure, I reply, and she comes in. Oh, that's why she's in here. Did I forget to bring out the laundry or something? No, that's not it. Today's dinner, what should we do about it? Huh? Is it time already? I rise up. Weekends mean that a lot more people are coming over for dinner, so we might not make it in time if we don't start soon. It was your turn today, right, Sakura? Yes. If you have anything in particular in mind, but I should listen to Saber-san and Fujimura-sensei's suggestions too. Alright, I'll help you out. My break has been interrupted anyway. It would be more meaningful to help out Sakura now. But you were resting, Senpai. I've had my fill. Well, if you've become so skilled that you don't need my help, then there's probably nothing for me to do. No, I haven't. I still haven't learned all the secrets of the art from you. Yep, and that's good. Okay, then let's get cooking. Senpai, that smile is off limits. Huh? It's nothing, okay? Then please help me, Senpai. Master Chef Fate Edition. Huh? This box is... Sakura notices something and stops. Yeah, that's the box of fruit Fujine brought over. We have 2 boxes of persimmons. We've got to eat them all again. Did Fujimura-sensei share some with us? How kind of her. Wow. Yeah, I remember when I thought persimmons might be fish. Yeah, apparently it is some kind of fruit. I've never really had persimmons or really heard of them, so yeah, forgive my ignorance. There's so much. Is this all of it? I think she has more over at her house. Apples would have been gone pretty quickly if we just made pies, but persimmons, what are we going to do with these? It just might work. I start picking them out of the box. The size should be about right. Sakura, let's use these as ingredients for today's meal. What do you mean, these? You mean the persimmons? Yeah, it's the second best thing to apples in cooking. Should be able to make something like salad. So let's use these for today. Persimmon salad. It'll certainly be a first. It's about time I start exploring the culinary frontiers, though. The god of cookery must have put these in our house to guide us. Gordon Ramsay put them there for you. He knows you can do it, Shiro. It does sound intriguing. Then let's count out a few. First, the firm ones. Then the soft ones will be for dessert tonight. Okay. Sakura uses her skirt to carry the persimmons. Oh my god. I'm just imagining how ridiculous this looks. How should I put this? It's a really feminine thing to do. Oh, she's using her... she's using her womanly... What should I say? Her womanly features to her advantage here. I'm actually a little envious of the persimmons now lying on her skirt. Ooh. Shiro is being a bit of a perv there. Senpai, what kind of menu were you thinking of? Sakura asks as she washes the rice. I did say I was going to use them, but I can only stare at them now piled on top of the cutting board. Now that I think about it, not that many dishes need persimmons. I'll just make something up. Then shall we make some salad first? I think we have some daikon radishes. Daikon and persimmons, sort of like raw fish with vegetables and vinegar. Although it's still only a side dish. No matter how much I stare at them, no ideas come to mind. I finally give up and look inside the refrigerator for more ingredients. With a lot of ingredients, it's like solving a puzzle. This and this. We could even use this. Bacon? Bacon with persimmons? Oh, sutsumiyaki. Like asparagus or potato. Apparently that means foil wrap? I guess? Got to give it to her. It's pretty accurate for just glancing over the ingredients. It looks like she hasn't noticed the dumpling wrap or cheese, though. I'll be wrapping and frying them. I'm going to cut the persimmons with cheese and fry it all in gyoza wrap. Then only the seasoning will be salt, right? Right. Since both are somewhat sweet, adding stuff like soy sauce could easily spoil it. Either way, it's still a pretty simple dish. We are yet to leave the side menu territory, though. That's awesome, Senpai. I wouldn't have thought of it myself. Then tonight's menu will be... persimmon salad with dressing, persimmon fried dumplings, persimmon bacon wraps. Persimmon bacon wraps. Ugh, that sounds That sounds like an interesting combination. Right. Sakura's reaction is only lukewarm. I know what she wants to say. The dinner table would indeed look pretty desolate with just this much. We can't put persimmons in the miso soup. How about mixing persimmon with rice for sushi rolls? That's good, but we still don't have a main dish. And so, Chef Mato. As I assume my didactic tone, Sakura straightens her back in attention. Yes, Chief Emiya. Good reaction. Thank you. Yes, Sakura's gotten all serious. So, as I was saying, tonight being a persimmon special night, following with the concept. Yes, the concept. Chef Mato's eyes are fixed on me, full of anticipation. In other words, the highlight, the main dish of tonight. I would like to leave it up to you, Chef Mato. And then she got all embarrassed. Yes, you have said what I had it. Wait, what? Sakura is surprised at her recently gotten big role. That's... Sorry, Senpai, I don't have any ideas. Oh no, there's still plenty of choices. Okay, a hint. Today will be the persimmon special night. Could it be? Sounds like she picked up on it. Wasting no time, she gets out a package of seafood from the refrigerator. That's right, since it's the persimmon special night. Oysters? Oh, apparently that's what kaki means. Right, persimmons and oysters. It's just a pun. They're both part of the flavor of autumn. I see. That's great, Senpai. I have to say it's a little corny, but that's what makes you my teacher. That's a complicated way of speech my student has adopted. Anyway, back to the main topic. These oysters in the fridge, did you buy them, Sakura? Yes, although I prefer the live ones with the shell intact. The ones you could eat fresh just by sprinkling lemon on? Yeah, not the kind of luxury we can afford. So what will you do about these? Fry them? I was thinking about gratin myself, but fried sounds good too. Alright, we're all set with both concept and variety. With the dishes planned, there shouldn't be any complaints. Even Fujine should be happy. Then let's divide this up. Salad and gratin will be yours, and all frying and baking will be mine. Wouldn't this be too much for you, Senpai? You'd be taking care of the white sauce. Yeah, you would be taking care of the white sauce. And more would be too much for you. Dishes requiring fire are best when done by one person. We skillfully divide up the workload. Preparing food for this many people, we have to plan the oven schedule, and even with 2 cooks, it's quite a lot of work. Let's get started, Senpai. Let's first skin the persimmons. There are seeds, so you have to cut it the right way. Okay, I'll do my best. And her best was not good enough. They were dissatisfied with the persimmon, the persimmon meals that they were offered. If there's anybody who would complain about that sort of thing, like, it would be Saber. I think she's... Well, I don't know. Would you say Saber's picky about food? I think she'll just eat anything. Well, she might be picky about food, considering she was, you know, dissatisfied with the food she had in the old country in England. At least in comparison to Shiro's cooking. It's just after 9 p.m. and dinner's already over. There are no major events and everyone returned to their rooms. It's too early to go to bed, so what should I do in the meantime? Hang around the Emiya residence, go out for a walk. Well, I say we go out for a walk just so we can cover more ground, but... It seems like there's something new that'll happen at the Emiya house. What should I do? Yeah, let's go out for a walk. Go out with Saber. Okay. North Residential and South Residential. So I guess we need to investigate those before we can do anything else. Nothing that noticeable on this end of the residential district. There's just no one walking outside, but there's nothing out of the ordinary otherwise. There are no concrete abnormalities, but I do feel that something is not quite right. More like the facts are contradicting each other. We can hear the peaceful clamor of families enjoying their post-supper evening. The eve at Miyama is still lit up by the lights coming from these houses. So then why is it that on a normal evening like this, we haven't passed by anyone else? Well, there's no danger, so who cares? On to the next one. Let's go. I guess Shiro doesn't really think too much about it. I turn my back on the Japanese-style end of the residential district. Saber, somebody just went inside that house. Looks like he just came back from work. What looks to be the silhouette of a person smoothly enters the dwelling without even ringing the doorbell. Are we sure that was a person, though? Didn't look like a person to me. Is that true? I did not notice. Ah, so you couldn't see from over there. Oh well, at the very least, we did come across one person. It's like, are you sure about that, though? Now that the missing piece has been put in its place, we should go somewhere else. And so another day passes with nothing really happening. October 9th. At least there's something new we can do at the Emiya residence today. As I was passing through the living room to start the usual lunch preparations, engrossed in reading, quite unusual for her. Yeah, something Ryder might do. Having not noticed my presence just yet, she's leaning forward, her cat-like eyes wide open, staring intently at something on top of the table. Okay, so she's not reading, she's just staring at food. While I sure am interested in the contents of that magazine now, I wouldn't want to interrupt. I'll just go straight to the kitchen. Oh. Shiro, great timing. For what? As I turn around, Saber finally peels her eyes off the page. The thing she presents in front of her chest is a large magazine with a colorful banner headline. That's a bit of a surprise. I imagined Saber would be interested in more serious magazines. It's some, like, magazine for teen girls. Shiro, what kind of taste does this foie gras have? Oh, it's a food. It's probably some kind of food magazine. Foie gras? Yes, that. Also, what about caviar, truffles, shark fin, bird's nest soup, matsutake mushrooms, splendid alfacino, spined lobster, jinhua jam, Peking duck, guinea fowl, pufferfish, soft-shelled turtle, wasaban sugar, yubari melon, matsuzaka beef. Jesus Christ. That's a lot of fucking food. Hold on, what on earth you were talking about? Saber's eyes were so serious, I unconsciously got scared and interrupted her. Why are you suddenly so interested in those things? Because they're all food. This. And so, Saber turns the cover of the book she's holding towards me. High-class foods you have to try once. Oh god. She's trying to break our bank. What is this book? I don't recall buying this book. Come to think of it, there's no reason for me to have it either. Maybe Saber bought it. Sakura has a collection of recipe books that I'll never be able to match. But this is more like a guidebook. Taiga left it here some time ago. Now I understand. I can see the underlying motive. She did this on purpose. She probably thought that by leaving it here in the living room, Sakura or I would look it over and say, okay, let's have matsutake mushrooms for dinner tonight. And judging by the shine in Saber's eyes, Fujine's plan is already about 50% successful. So, you're saying you're interested in this? Yes, these are all ingredients I would like to taste. I'm certain they would be delicious. Saber visualizes the high-class ingredients she's yet to try. But with the normal person's access to high-quality goods, I doubt I can rise to the culinary standard of a high-ranking person. Didn't you live in a castle as a king? That's very luxurious. Well, I mean, she is a king, so why wouldn't she like luxurious things? Luxurious food and other luxurious things? Crap, it wasn't like that. What a gaffe. Certainly, Saber lived a country life. However, at the time, there were no pompous royal feasts or formal table manners, for that matter. To begin with, the French brought high-class food with them. What century are we talking about here? Okay, so maybe she's not used to, the, luxurious lifestyle of a king. Shiro, I believe I told you before. In my time, there were no plates. The meat was merely cooked and thrown onto the table, and you shaved it off with a knife. Sorry, Saber. That was my bad. While I do want to say you can have whatever you like to eat as an apology. Indeed, with our household's finances, saying, alright, how about we go eat there, with that menu is an impossible dream. It's a stretch, but if it's for you alone, I'll manage it somehow. Me alone, you say? Yes, and that's the limit. Apart from that, if Tosaka lends me a hand with an investment of a jewel or something, maybe I can take everyone out to a fancy place in Shinto. Yeah, just get Tosaka to sell her jewel collection. Then you'll have plenty of money. Knowing Rin, that kind of a fictional scene is hardly imaginable. I agree completely. She's distinctly cheap, stingy, and a born miser. I don't want to hear her complaining. Besides, I simply can't imagine Tosaka being that lavish. Yeah, I do want to take you to a rich celebrity-like place someday, but until then, you'll have to put up with the food that I make. What are you saying, Shiro? I am very satisfied with the food in this house. I have never considered myself to be patiently enduring it. She says such a wonderful thing with a straight face. If you say it like that, my fighting spirit will be boosted even for just the lunch preparations. Therefore, I believe that someday you will personally harvest high-class ingredients. You will make a splendid meal, which you will use to decorate this dining table. Huh? Because I believe in you. What do you believe in? Saber throws out a reckless word of belief. She flips through the magazine in her hand and finally opens the page she was after. Yes, goose. Foy quack. How about we start from the matter of feeding and caring for the goose itself? So, you want us to capture a goose and then cook it? Quack. Hold on a minute, Saber. If a goose is too much trouble, a pig is another choice. As far as feeding livestock goes, pigs are ideal. If Saber had her way, we'd have a farm at this house. This house would become a farm for, like, taking care of animals and then, like, cooking them. Moreover, did you know, Shiro? According to this book, only sows can find truffles underground. Of course, there are different varieties of ham, so we will have to choose the breed. Give me that. I'll make sure to smack its rightful owner with it. Idiot. So he's gonna go smack Fujimura then. In one smooth motion, she stands up and quickly evades my hand. Nimbly walking through the corridor, she puts on the slippers and goes out to the yard. Hey! Saber, it's dangerous to walk without looking down. You finally noticed, Shiro. Compared to my faraway castle, the Emiya residence is missing something. That is, a vegetable garden and a livestock hut. Fortunately, there is plenty of space here in the yard. Oh no. No, we're not investing in that. Oh, could it be that Kiritsugu anticipated this, and thus secured an appropriate site? Nope, Dad wouldn't have had such particular foresight. Well, if you really want to try, I can give you some space for a decent-sized kitchen garden. But we won't be raising a sow, goose, or a turtle. Just that tigress alone is enough. Tiger, huh? Highly valued since ancient times, tiger meat is said to be horse meat what sakura is to bamboo. I wonder what it tastes like. Butter? This entranced Saber, standing in the middle of the yard, seems to have a convenient filter in her ears for my voice. Earth the King, come back, Your Majesty. Even if a garden is impossible, I will not give up just yet. After all, Fuyuki City is a natural treasure trove. Oh man, is Saber gonna go hunting for some animals that she can cook? Mountain vegetables, forests, an abundance of seafood, a fertile land truly blessed by God. The dream continues. Before that, wipe the drool off your face, Saber. With that demonic book clutched tightly to her chest, Saber looks up to the clear autumn sky and sees the faraway food kingdom. I seriously am afraid now. I think Saber is gonna go, like, hunting. She's gonna go hunting for food. Emiya residence, it seems like that's the only place where anything is happening, so I guess we're just gonna stick around here. Well, there's something in the courtyard, but we're not sure what it is. I guess either go to the courtyard or talk to Ryder. Let's talk to Ryder. Books, and more books. By the way, are you happy to be with me, Shiro? Depends on what you mean by that. Huh? The sudden question causes my hand to stop halfway through turning the page. So we're just kind of like reading together with Ryder. It is nothing. Seeing you read with a difficult expression on your face prompted me to ask. Please ignore it and continue with your book. It's been 30 minutes since I've started reading in Ryder's room. Sometimes I excuse myself into her room to read like this, but it's probably the first time she's tried to speak to me as I'm reading. Oh, I'm just not used to this type of printing, and I do like the atmosphere of this place. How about you? Am I bothering you by being here? I do not really mind, and I'm also used to seeing you frown whenever I look up to rest my eyes. I see. In that case, I'll help myself. Shoving the mountain of books aside, I grabbed the next one. I found one in English, but it was completely beyond me. Let's try something normal next. So, what's with this all-out girly Harley Quinn romance stuff? The summary looks interesting. Ryder, do you read these kinds of books too? Was it any good, is the message I'm trying to convey through my stare. I was not that much into it, but I can only speak for myself. So not that great. Well, this one looks a little long, so I'll put it off until next time. Let's go with the short one about a swordsman. No, Saber might like that one. Right, Ryder, would you like some tea? I'll go make some. No, not really. But if you're going to, then I shall join you as well. Was it unnecessary to interfere? Since Ryder's so into reading, then I should immerse myself into it too. Or just borrow a book and go back to my room. Shiro. Yeah, sorry to disturb you. I'll go back to my room, so you can just... As I have said, I do not mind your being here. Here is a simple question. What kind of books do you tend to read? This is a rare occurrence. Maybe her book isn't that interesting. Well, I read everything, but I don't really get attached to anything in particular. The reason I'm here is because of your influence as an ardent reader. In other words, you have no particular taste. I see. That is just like you. She laughs. I feel kind of like a kid being laughed at by an older woman. Well, technically she is an older woman. What, it's not that different from you, Ryder. These books are all over the place, nothing in common whatsoever. You have many interests, which means that you don't have a particularly high interest in anything. A book I especially like? Indeed, I cannot say that I have a particular genre that I like. Erotica. But speaking in your terms, Shiro, for me, reading itself is an interest. I clap my hands together. Ryder doesn't distinguish between non-fiction novels, periodicals. Ryder just likes books themselves. The type is unimportant to her. Well, I get this passing curiosity about what ultimate collection Ryder might be hiding in the closet over there. Doujinshi. Oh no. Hold the horses. Don't be hasty. I'll need a lot more than my mortal self to ever see that. What is it, Shiro? For a moment there, it looked as if you had something truly frightening flash through your head. No. Anyway, you were saying that reading itself is your hobby. But then, there must have been some particularly interesting books you've read. If so, please tell me. Let me see. I would not go as far as to call them interesting, but there have been a few that were particularly well done. If you tell me a few books that you were touched by, then I could give you some recommendations. Books that touched me? That's a difficult request. A book that really left an impression on me. I can't really say I've had one like that. I've never given myself much time for reading until now, and it shows. Well, now that we have you, there's no shortage of reading material. But Ryder, reading is fine and all, but don't you have any other hobbies? You're good at sports, and it would be great if you could find one more activity that you like. An activity? I do think that my life is already sufficiently comfortable as it is. Well, perhaps it is, but if it was more like... Ryder doesn't go out to Shinto on her own. Perhaps, just perhaps, date-level arrangements are the only thing she would go out to Shinto for. Oh god. Are we going to ask her out? Is that what we have to do now? Please do not worry. I am enjoying life in my own way. Well then, if I say that I'm doing something when you are not looking, would you believe me? Oh god. She has a secret. Ugh. Seeing her seductive smile, my heart skips a beat. If she says that she's doing something I don't know about with a face like that, I really can't help but imagine bad things. Please relax. It's definitely nothing like sucking blood from the citizens of the city. I just have my own way of having fun. Oh god. I'm afraid. I am a woman after all. In other words, I'm not as impenetrable as a person as you would Sakura believe. That seductive smile turns into a happy one. I'm just about to breathe a sigh of relief when... Ryder, are you there? Is that you, Sakura? Please come in. Sakura enters. I get up to make room for her as she comes in. Ryder, I have something to ask. Oh, Senpai, you are here too? Yeah, I dropped in to read for a bit. Yes, Shiro does spend time here like this on occasion. He seems to be taking my room for a library. Well, you do have a lot of books. Ryder says that as if giving up in amazement, but her voice was soft, so she must not be at all dissatisfied with such treatment. And I'm happy that she thinks that way. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Please don't mind me, Sakura. I'm just reading my book, but if it's a serious matter, I can leave. Okay, what's going on? Sakura looks at me, then at Ryder. Senpai, can I disturb you for a moment? Sure, what is it? Didn't you have something to talk to Ryder about, though? That was so, but I remembered something urgent, so please come. If that's the case, sure. Ryder, can I leave my book here? I'll continue with it when I come back. Yes, you can leave it like that. But Sakura, what was it that you wanted to ask me? It's okay. I told you, I can ask that later. It must be something pretty embarrassing. What's with this tension? Ryder's thinking about something with a grave expression. I'm truly sorry, Sakura. Huh? Ryder, why are you saying that? I really am sorry. Should I really say what I am apologizing for? It's okay. Just stay here, Ryder. Then I shall do that. Again, I am terribly sorry, Sakura. Sakura starts backtracking. I don't know what Ryder's apologizing about, but I guess receiving those apologies can be quite burdensome. So, Sakura, what did you need me for? Right. Please continue this way, Senpai. She drags me out, and Ryder, as if completely oblivious. Shiro, I know it is sudden, but I have changed my mind. I will lend you that book, so please enjoy it at your leisure. I suddenly want to read by myself. But, Ryder, just now. Really, Senpai, please come quickly. Sakura, is it because of the dinner plans? Should I cook the fish after all? Are the mackerels in the fridge not enough? Should we really use new rice? Okay, what the fuck is going on? It's not about dinner? Then is it about the archery club? Sakura finally stops. Whatever her story is, she takes a deep breath and then... She tilts her head in confusion. Sakura? I'm sorry. What was it I needed to do? That's what I'd like to ask. That's quite a memory lapse. Sakura, have you been working too hard lately? No, that's not it, but... No, that's definitely it. You can rest for today. I'll take care of dinner tonight. Alright, I'll head back to Ryder's room for the... Don't! Senpai, you're right. It's about dinner. Right. Let's get started on it now. Okay, there's something going on. There's something she's not telling us. I have to wonder what it is, though. Is it something about, like, Ryder needing magical energy from Sakura? And it's like, is that what this is? She's way too energetic. I guess I was just mistaken about her fatigue. Sure, but isn't it way too early? It doesn't matter. With 5 people, it is certainly a lot more than before. And it's autumn, the season of good appetites. Well, you and Saber might actually feel that way, as well as Fujine. Right, and since it's an appetizing season, it'd be great if we did our best too. She laughs unnaturally. It feels like she thinks she'll lose something if she doesn't drag me into the kitchen, right this moment. Alright, tonight's dinner is important to you, right? Then I'll do my best. First, let's go ask Ryder what she'd like for dinner. That won't do. Ryder doesn't care about food, so it would just be awkward. Something's up. Sakura's behavior is way too suspicious. But even then, this is... how should I put it? See, look here. I actually brought your apron. It's a new one with a really cute fried egg and crab on it. I thought it would fit you so well, I went and bought it in secret. Look, it really does fit you, she says overjoyed. I really don't know why, but this in itself... how should I put it? Just looking at it makes me feel energized. Alright, I still don't get what this is all about, but I now understand how you feel. I'll lend you a hand, so let's make a festive dinner that will surprise everyone. I did it! Thank you, Senpai! Please try on that apron. Yay! She puts the apron on me, overflowing with joy. Alright then. There's been a change of plans, but it's refreshing to see Sakura's smiling face. I'll try all my tricks to make something grand tonight. Is that really what this was about? We're like trying to surprise Ryder with dinner or something? Like, I don't know. It seemed like there was more to that, than just, you know, making dinner. It's like she was trying to hide something. It's just after 9 p.m. and dinner's already over. There are no major events and everyone returned to their rooms. It's too early to go to bed, so what should I do in the meantime? Hang around the Evania residence, go out for a walk. Well, I say we go out for a walk because there was like one more area to explore. And I think it's Miyama. South Residential. Let's check out what's over there. If there is anything to check out. We go down the opposite side of the residential district from the Emiya household. From the entrance of the neighborhood to the hill that Tosca's house is on, there was nothing out of place. I know it is out of the blue, but what do you think of the difference between Rin's and Sakura's houses, Shiro? Now that you ask, I haven't really thought about it. Why all of a sudden? Did you notice something strange? Huh? No, this has nothing to do with the patrol. It is just something I've wondered about before. But it is difficult to ask in front of the people involved. Difficult to ask, huh? Something to do with magic? Nothing like that. Well, not really. You see, Sakura's house is, in every respect, larger. However, the Tosca family are the supervisors of this land. I just do not think it right for a lord to have a smaller estate than a vassal. Saber's not one to worry about money. Rather, she's the type that I would prefer to be more fussy about money. But I think this is more a case of a former king having a particularly strict evaluation criteria for her colleagues. The person that governs a piece of land must have an appropriately furnished estate, is the way a member of royalty would think. Moving on. So, I was wondering, I understand that Ren does not want to exploit a family member, but this is also a matter of a lord's duty. Before it gives rise to unnecessary quarreling, shall I advise her to either expand the Tosca household or perhaps annex the Mato residence instead? Advice like that may well end up with a sister's quarrel that will leave the whole of Fuyuki in ruins. The scary thing is, Tosca would probably agree with Saber's point. Please don't. Besides, this lord rules from the shadows, right? It would be bad if she stood out too much, so I think she tries to live modestly. Now that you say it, that does seem to be the case. Rin's choice of modest lifestyle must be to hide her position as the head of the Tosca family. Yep, that's right. So don't tell her, Rin, you sure managed to live in poverty, or anything of the sort, as the damage will be done to me instead. Yes. Then, as Rin's friends, let us pretend not to notice her efforts. Tosca is blessed to have such an understanding ally. Of course, it's a misinterpretation, but it's all fine as long as the result is the same. On that note, how about we go back? There doesn't seem to be anything unusual here. After a long detour, the moon marches on. Before it gets straight overhead, let's do what needs to be done. Go back to sleep. That's what needs to be done. And now we move on to the third day. So it seems like there's something going on in Saber's room. Let's check the streets. Is there anything happening here? There's something new at the temple. Fujimura is doing something at the temple. Is there anything else on the streets? No. Well, we have been hanging around the Emily residence a lot, so let's go check the temple. Again. And Fujimura is there. Again. Ryudo Temple. Fuyuki Mountain. I once asked Issei about its history. He produced a list of mysterious names, befitting a famous temple, and left me even more confused. Well, most of the town's population couldn't care less about these things, but for the new year and other events, the temple still gathers believers atop the mountain. So here's one of these pilgrims. Did you just come here for fun, Fujine? You're gonna piss off Castor. She's like, what are you doing here, woman? Are you trying to steal Kazuki away from me? Huh? What's the fun in climbing a long flight of stone steps? The stone steps keep going all the way from the base of the mountain to the temple gate. It must have taken her a fair amount of effort. Climbing up here isn't exactly a one-step affair. That's right. After bunny hopping all the way up and down 10 times, even you must feel refreshed, Shiro. My knees would give out before I'm done with that. Youngsters don't do it with a spare tire and iron sandals these days, do they? Iron sandals? Where the heck would you even get those? Wait, probably from the Fujimura group. Old man Rega has been strutting around in single-tooth tall sandals, I believe. So, did you come here just for fun too? Big sis will be worried if a healthy young man says that his hobby is mountains, you know. Like, how did I raise you with such gloomy interests? Worry not. Your education policy did not include anything even close to such bland activities, Fujine. That's right. It didn't. Okay, let's visit the shrine. We walk over to the temple grounds and get some purifying water. It's been a while since we visited a shrine together. Since New Year's, I guess. Every year, Fujine dresses up in a really profound-looking kimono, but that's another story. How about an offering? It's about fate, so 5 yen. Can't you do 500? She's cheap. 55. We're coming up one order of magnitude short, sadly. Of course, even if we do, putting in paper bills would be unheard of. Faith is what matters. That's what I like to believe. It's not faith, it's your money. Give us all your money. We need it for our private jet. we need it for the Ryudo private jet. Alright, so what should I pray for? Household well-being, road safety, academic success? Wondering what Fujine is wishing for, I take a sideways glance. Let Shiro grow up strong and healthy. Crap, I wasn't ready for that. I'm touched. Does she really worry about me this much? And also, please let me get a hot boyfriend. I was praying for her safety and well-being. That thought crossed my mind too. But you know, Fujine, you're making an awfully common request. And please save the Siberian tiger from extinction. The Bengal tiger is in danger of becoming extinct too. I see another tiger right beside us that's in danger of becoming extinct. Gradually running out of material, we get to the tigers. So the prayer for my adulthood is lumped together with other material. My feelings are now mixed. So, what did you wish for, Shiro? For world peace. Well, that's incredibly common. Yours is always the same, isn't it? Don't you ever go more like, a girl, now, and stuff? If I did, the deity would probably be quite troubled. I'm pretty sure this mountain isn't oriented towards marriages. And besides, marital success with whom? My train of thought is interrupted by a familiar voice. Oh look, it's been ages since we met, Shiro-kun. Morning. Really nice weather today, isn't it? Good morning, Fujimura-sensei. Morning, Emiya. The two that just came out from the main hall are Issei and his older brother, Reiken. We've been making quite a bit of noise, and they probably came to check it out. Greetings. Good morning. Rei-chan and Ryudo-kun. Hello. Fujine waves at them with a smile. Rei-chan is Reiken-san, just making sure. Good to see you in high spirits as always. By the looks of it, you're here to pay homage to our temple. Indeed, we're delighted to have you visit today. Also, we've been indebted greatly by the Fujimura house this summer. I will thank you in my father's stead. Before long, the high priest himself will be paying you a visit. Don't worry about it, really. Is the Honorable Preceptor doing well? He is well, quite well, although the 10 years of service do weigh on him. This month, claiming pursuit of knowledge, he went to another mountain temple. Lose not to the Fujimura Senior. Those were his spirited words. The old man used to say that too, actually. This New Year's Eve, I will not be outdone by that Ryudo geezer. Save up lots and hold tight. Or something like that. That sounds promising. That desire for money runs a little deeper than most people's. We're definitely looking forward to getting sliced and diced by the senior. Hahaha. A pleasant laughing voice resounds throughout the temple grounds. Issei's father and old man Reiga's relationship is downright murderous. Furthermore, Fujine, Reikan, and Neko-san were all classmates. There must be a connection to this little-known ruling sect of the Miyama town. Why are you trembling, Emiya? It's kind of chilly and stuff. Both our old man and even Rei-chan's father are fond of Shiro. Yep, so we'd like you guys to teach us. Teach what exactly? Chivalry and meditation? No, maybe gambling and praying? Oh no, there's no need for it, Junior. Shiro-kun will turn out quite well, I'm sure. Accomplished in both literary and martial arts and excelling in chivalry. A fine fellow, I'd say. Huh, I wonder about that. He's alright now, but I'd really like him to be awesome like Rei-chan and stuff. No way, a student like me can never have the composure that Reikan-san always does. Sure you can. Rei-chan, remember back when we were at Homurahara? You'd get surrounded by guys from our school and still keep laughing. Well, you did get beaten up in the end though. But that was a while ago. And before I came to realize my fate, Tiger-kun had already tended to my wounds. Oh, a word of welcome for the clumsy and inexperienced monk. Tiger-kun's sole companionship. Ha 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 ha. They laugh, a tiger and a wandering monk. Amazing. I mean, I'm actually looking at a man that is more than able to talk back to Fujine, in more ways than one. You are amazing, Reikon-san. Just like always. A mindless broad that can keep company with Fujine must be the stuff of legends. Brother Reikon is my role model. How about it, Emiya? Come to the mountain. Let's pursue this ideal together. Before I knew it, Issei starts persuading me too. At this rate, Fujine may well end up selling me off to them. Although, I must admit, I do find the monk lifestyle somewhat appealing. Issei, who had been laughing, come to the mountain, suddenly straightens himself. Oh no, it's Kazuki. Brother Soichiro, what brings you here? I have been asked to deliver a message to your older brother. Good morning, Fujimura-sensei. Emiya. Ah, right, Kazuki-sensei lives here too. Whenever his lean figure is around, it's as if one's entire body is being oppressed, making it difficult to even open your mouth. Hello, Kazuki-sensei. Thank you for your help, as always. Here too. Your help is appreciated every day. Please take your time. Reikon, your father is on the phone. Right. My apologies. See you later, Shiro-kun. Junior, have a nice day. You come too, Issei. In case there will be a particularly difficult question again. I may not manage alone. Okay, to the extent of my abilities. Well then, please excuse me too. Bowing respectfully, the two of them leave. Phew. Unconsciously, I relax a little. No matter how sociable Reikon might be, he still has an air of strictness about him. Issei, Reikon, Kazuki-sensei, do these types of people tend to gather at temples? Well, we'd better get going as well. Sorry for putting you off like this. It was not fated to happen today, but please don't hesitate to visit next time. Issei will also be glad to see you. Alright, until next time. Leaving the main building behind, I follow Fujine across the temple grounds. That sure was a surprise. Turns out Kazuki-sensei lives here too. You might not want to know who else lives here. Yeah, the three of them are pretty much like brothers, don't you think? I know. Oh, but I wonder if we look like siblings too. It'd be nice if we did. We've been living like brother and sister since forever. I'd even be kind of proud to have others see us that way. Alright, I'll drop in the back for a bit. What about you, Shiro? I'll be back after a stroll. I'd like to go to the hills behind the temple for a bit. Oh, is he actually going to visit Kiritsugu's grave? Okay. You don't worry about lunch for me then. Parting ways with Fujine, I leave the temple grounds. Well then, what should I do next? What should we do next indeed? Well, looks like certain someone's at the big bridge again. Same people are over there. Okay, we've already been to the church. That's not new. Nothing new anywhere else. Nothing new with the Emiya residence either? Really? That doesn't look like it. Well, I guess that's when we would just have to use the time skip feature, because there is a time skip feature in this game, but I haven't had to use it yet until now, because there's like nothing to do. It seems like we've already done everything else. There's no new events that were happening. It's just after 9 p.m. and dinner's already over. There are no major events and everyone returned to their rooms. It's too early to go to bed, so what should I do in the meantime? Go out for a walk. Oh, something important is going to happen if we go for a walk. The big bridge. Oh boy, we're finally going to approach the big bridge with Saber. I wonder if Archer's going to be there. Maybe we'll finally be able to deal with Archer. Because as we know, he is sniping around that area. Crossing the bridge, we head over to Shinto. There's nobody on the pedestrian walkway at this hour. Tonight, with no cars on the roadway, the sound of the breeze from the sea echoes around us. This brings back memories. Back then, we went to the church together just like this, didn't we? Yes, Shiro, who had not understood what it meant to be a master. I, who had not yet become your servant. And Rin, who had still been our enemy. Looking back on it again, we truly were an odd trio, weren't we? Saber chuckles. Both of us are laughing from the memories of that night half a year ago. I remember it even now. No, I'll remember it for the rest of my life. That night was special. All the time I spent with Saber during the Holy Grail War was special, but that night was the beginning of it all. But Saber, you were in a pretty sour mood. Granted, having just met, we couldn't talk that much, but you were totally silent all the way to the church, you know. Of course I would be. Now that it is over, I can tell you, the way I had been treated was infuriating. If you were going to disguise me, there ought to have been a better way of doing so. I see. Milady Saber was displeased by the yellow raincoat, Then again, she's using it quite often. Is that some type of silent protest against me? It appears that you have something to say. Very well. As your apology for that incident, let us settle this now. Sure. Ooh, what the fuck was that? What? Sword bounces against light. The aftershock causes the air in the bridge supports to vibrate. Stay back. A hostile servant is attacking. Okay, yeah, it's the arrows. The second shot. I can't grasp what's happening. Saber stands in front of me, repelling the incoming bolts of light with her sword. Where are they coming from? I can't tell. A hostile servant? Shit. Who the hell? The third shot. Saber once again deflects the bolt of light. This is not good. That one was definitely more powerful than before. She managed to defend against the last shot, but the rest keep increasing in force. How long will Saber be able to hold out? If Saber were alone, she would move forward while deflecting the bolts and could probably take the sniper down before she is defeated. But the one being targeted is me. The moment Saber moves away, I will be pierced right through. As long as Saber is protecting me, she can't move forward. No. In the worst case, we may not even be able to retreat to Miyama, and because of me, one of the shots will... Sure, I'll block these attacks. For now, do not move. The fourth shot. There is urgency in her voice. The enemy knows that I am her weakness. Saber takes an unreasonable posture as she deflects the bolts of light raining down on a wide-open Emiyashiro. At this rate, Saber is going to lose. I know what needs to be done. In short, defending myself is my own responsibility. Trace on. I focus my nerves. I can see the incoming shots, and if they can be seen, they can be stopped. The old me may not be capable of it, but the Emiyashiro that survived through the Holy Grail War must have the experience and ability to make that possible. And then, the fifth and final shot. Saber is knocked off her feet. No doubt about it. These bolts of light are long-range shots using noble phantasms. No matter how powerful she may be, Saber cannot defend against long-range sharpshooting where each bullet is a noble phantasm. If Saber were alone, she could have avoided any number of them without having to deflect them with her sword. Saber, watch out! Shiro, wait. I can take one hit. No, you can't. Saber will be defeated by the sixth shot. That is the conclusion drawn from this method of defense. Don't underestimate me. I can watch my own back. I glare at our attacker. I see the light being fired, aimed at my forehead. I see it. Now that I see it, next I... Huh? I totally forgot. What was I supposed to do next? Oh, well, now he's gonna die. And he's dead. Another dead end? Killed by Archer again? I screwed up. What was it? What did I do wrong? Was I forgetting something? Or have I not learned something yet? Where had I missed the fundamental part of the skills possessed by the man named Emiyashiro? My brain comes oozing out from the hole in my forehead. Well, seems like we've approached yet another dead end. I can't really hear what she's saying. What should have been done? What was it that I forgot? My mind is becoming distant. I drop out of the race without even reaching the fourth day. This still wasn't enough. Perhaps I couldn't use it because I hadn't tried it, and just took knowing it for granted. Oh. Well, I guess there's something... I don't know, it seems like... What should we... Is there some way we could have avoided this? Was there something we should have done before doing this? Is that what he's trying to say? Because I'm not sure. It seems like this probably had to happen? I don't know. For those who have played Hollow Ataraxia already, let me know. Did I do something wrong here? Now, where do I fully grasp the fundamental abilities of Emiyashiro? I feel like he should have known what to do, though. Like, I thought he already knew about this, but maybe not. You know, he already knew the fundamentals at least. Defeated. Something is missing. Who am I? To restore the memory, I must understand once again. Okay. We got a dead bad end. Great.